Hey guys, welcome back. So today we'll be reviewing intersections and unions. Remember that intersection, the symbol for intersection looks like this. It looks like the letter N. And the symbol for union, it looks like this. It looks like the letter U. If you want to define intersection, intersection is a set of all elements or numbers that are common to both A and B. And union is a set of all elements or numbers belonging to A and or B. And that's something to remember, is that it belongs to A and or B. So let's look at this example here. So let's say I needed to find the intersection between these two sets here. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in my first set. And then my second set here, I have -2, -1, 0, 1, 2, 3. And then also notice here that my symbol here is my intersection symbol, which looks like the letter N. So I need to find the intersection between these two sets here. So we need to find numbers that are common to both A and B. So in this example here, I do have a 1 that's common, so that's good. Do I have a 2 that's in common? That's good. A 3, have that in common as well. A 4, I do not have that in common. What about a 5? I also do not have that in common. And then if I go on this side, do not have a -2 in common. I do not have a -1 in common. I also do not have 0 in common. The numbers I do have in common are going to be 1, 2, and 3. And this is your final answer here. Let's look at this example here. So let's say we needed to find the union for these two sets here. I have 2, 3, 4. The symbol for union here, it looks like the letter U. And then here, my second set, I have 3, 5, and 7. What are the numbers that belongs to A and or B? That belongs to my first and or my second set. So if I list it here, so far I see we have a number 2. Then we have 3. Then we have 4. Next, we have 5. And then last, we have 7. So the numbers that belong to A and or B are going to be these numbers here, and this is your final answer. Let's look at this example here. Notice here that my symbol here looks like the letter N, and this means intersection. So we need to find the intersection between these two sets here, which means the numbers that belong to both A and B belong to my first and my second set. So let's see, I do not have a 5, so I'm just going to leave that alone. I do have a 9 here and a 9 here, so I'm going to list that first. Next, we have 11 here and 11 here, so that's good. And notice here, my last, I have an 18. I do not have another 18 in my first set. So my final answer here is just going to be set 9, 11. So let's look at this example here. My symbol here looks like the letter U, and this symbolizes union. So we need to find the set of numbers that belong to my first and or my second set. I'm going to first list 0, that's first. Next, we have 5 here and a 5 here. I'm going to list my 5 next. Then we have 10 here. I do not have a 10 anywhere else, so I'm going to just still list that. Next, we have 15 here and 15 here. That's good. And then last, we have a 20 here, so I'm also going to list that. So the union between these two sets are going to be these numbers here: 0, 5, 10, 15, and 20. Next, let's look at this example here. So notice my symbol here looks like the letter N. This is my intersection symbol. So I need to find the set of elements that are common to both my first and second set. So I have an A here. I do not have it in my second set. I have a B here, so that's good. I'm going to first list this. Next, we have C. Nope, do not have another one in my second set. D, yes, we have this. I'm going to list that. And E, nope, it's not repeating anywhere else. And my F, yes, I do have an F here in my first set and my second set. So I am going to list F. So the intersection between these two sets are going to be B, D, and F. Notice here my symbol, this indicates the union between these two sets. So we need to find the common elements that belongs to my first and or my second set. So let's first list my R, that's first, we're gonna list this. We have S, I'm going to list my S. We have T, I'm going to list my T. And then we also have U and V. So I'm also going to list both my U and my V. So the union between these two sets are going to be R, S, T, U, V. Let's look at this example here. We have 3, 6, 9, 12 in my first set. My second set, I have 5, 10, 15. My symbol here looks like the letter N. This is my intersection symbol. So we need to find common elements between both my first and second set. So if I'm looking, I see I have a 3 here. I do not have a 3 in my other set. So let's go to the next one. My 6. Nope, I do not have a 6 in my second set. My 9, it's not repeating. I do not have that in my second set as well. And then my 12, I also do not have that in my second set. And I don't have 5, I do not have 10, and I also do not have 15. So in this example here, because we are supposed to find the intersection between these two sets, I do not have any numbers that are common in both these sets. So my answer here is going to be an empty set. Let's look at this example here. So my first set, we have 3, 5, and 7. My symbol here is my union symbol. And then notice here that my second set is an empty set. So remember the definition for union. We need to find numbers or elements that belong to A and or B. So if I'm listing the union between these two, first I'm going to list my 3 because we have that. Next, we have my 5, I'm going to list that. And then next you have your 7. So I'm also going to list that. So the union between these two, which is a set here and an empty set, is going to be this answer here. Because remember, here I have no set. All that we're worried about is going to be my first set that we have here. Let's look at this example here. We need to find the union between these two sets. I have 2, 4, 8, and then 8, 9, and 10. So the union between these two sets is going to be 2. So I'm going to list my 2 first. We have this. Next, we have 4. I'm going to list my 4. Next, we have 8. I'm going to list my 8. And then next, we have my 9. I'm going to list 9. And then last, we also have 10. So I'm also going to list 10. So the union between these two sets are going to be 2, 4, 8, 9, and 10. Let's look at this example here. We need to find the intersection between these two sets. These are going to be numbers that belong to my first and my second set. So numbers that they both have in common. So we have our 2. I do not have another 2. I do have a 5 here and a 5 here, so I'm going to list that. Next, we have a 9. I do not have another 9. And then we have a 13. I do not have another 13. And then on this side, we have 8. I do not have another 8. And 10, also do not have another 10. So the only number that we have in common between the two sets is going to be the number 5. So your final answer here is going to be a set 5. So let's look at this example here. So let's say we have sets A, B, and C. And the question here is to find the intersection between sets A and B. If I look at the intersections between the two, I need to find the numbers that are common between the two. So we have my 1. I do not have another 1 between these two sets. I have a 3, so I'm going to list my 3. Next, we have 5. I do have a 5 here and a 5 here. I'm going to list my 5. Next, we have 8. I do not have another 8. And then on this side, we have 7. I do not have another 7. So between these two sets, my A and my B, the intersection between these two sets are going to be the number 3 and 5. Now let's find the union between A and B. So let's look at the union between my set A and B. Remember the definition for union. So we need to know the numbers that belong to A and or B. So let's see. First we have my 1. I'm going to list my 1. Next we have 3. I'm going to list 3 here. Next we have 5. Next we have 8. And then we have 7. So the union between set A and B are going to be 1, 3, 5, 7, and 8. So let's look at this example here. So notice here we have A union C inside parentheses, and then outside my parentheses we have B intersecting. So first let's write everything out. So let's write my set B first, which is going to be 3, 5, and 7. And that's going to be intersection. And then inside here we have 1, 3, 5, 8, union, and my C. So this is my A, which is what we wrote here. And my C is going to be 2, 4, 6, 8. And then I'm going to close parentheses. So let's solve this side first here in brackets. So what is the union between these two sets here? So let's see. We have my 1. We got that. My 3. My 5. My 8. We have this here. And then my second set here, we have 2, 4, 6, and then we have 8, which we already listed here. So the union between my set A and C, which is what we did here, is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 8. Now I'm going to bring my intersection here. And then now we need to find the intersection between my 3, 5, 7 with the set we just solved here. So what is the intersection between these two sets? So let's go ahead and look for that. So now we have our 3. I'm going to list that. We have 5. And I see we have a 7 here. I do not have a 7 in my second set. And then if I come on this side, I have a 1. I do not have another 1. I have a 2. Nope, no other 2. 4. I do not have another 4. My 6 here, no other 6. And then my 8, I also do not have another 8. So the intersection between these two is going to be the numbers 3 and 5. And this is your final answer here. All right, so that is all for today, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye, guys.